This is Matt Nestor here with Belvidere coach Chuck Leonard here with our Pigskin previews. Last year, coach, you get the job in May. You just have kind of 3 months and you build the first Friday night and you kind of go. This time you had a full off season. What kind of differences are you seeing right now?
It's been really nice this off season. We've had a chance to kind of set the expectations and try to lay the groundwork and the foundation of where we're going and how we're going to get there. Like I mentioned, setting the expectations with, okay, this is what is expected in the off season. You're expected to be in the weight room. What are the expectations for the summer? Like you mentioned, getting the job in May last year, it was, kind of coming in the last week before school is out and, hey guys, come play football. Here's what we're going to do this summer. Hope you show up. But now, our turnout for the summer was pretty good. For the varsity level, we had 90% of the varsity kids there all summer long. So it's gone really well, and it's been nice to have the kids in and working and understanding what it means to wear that uniform. It says Belvidere on it. So
one thing a lot of coaches always look for leaders, especially a new coach coming in. Have you seen some kids that have really bought into the program and are kind of stepping up in that role for you?
Well, last year coming in day one, we knew coming in the door right away, we would have to win over that senior class. And last year, I can't say enough good things about last year's senior class. Maurice Jackson, Jacob Fondrick, Garrett Heiser, Chris Colquette, Max Snyder, a lot of those kids that have moved on now. They welcomed us with open arms, and from day one they bought into what we were doing and really helped set the tempo and set the kind of set the expectations for the kids all the way through the program that hey, they're buying into it. This is a fresh way of looking at things, fresh way of doing things, and that really helped. So I'd love to talk about this year's team, but I can't. I have to give credit to those kids coming in and really as far as setting the groundwork and laying the foundation for where we're going.
Obviously we're going to spend most of our time talking about the varsity team, but how are the lower levels looking? I know when you come in and build a program, that's really where you kind of have to build that foundation at. Sure.
Freshman numbers are decent. Sophomore numbers are okay. Nowhere close to where we need them to be yet. We speak about doing things the right way, and champions go about doing the little things, and we've got trying to build up to those numbers where we need them to be. Fortunately, this off season was nice. I had a chance to meet with our junior high coaches all the way down to our third grade coaches, and just tried to set some level of consistency all the way down from the third grade all the way up through till when we get to them, freshmen. I think that's big to have a program, that continuity all the way down.
Right.
And because that's really where you have any kind of sustained success. Look at the teams that have been successful over the years, in the last several years. Boylan, Hononegah. You get into Harlem, you get into these schools that have feeder programs that go all the way down.
Right.
And it's just a consistency all the way through. So that was big for us this off year, is kind of get the ball rolling in that direction.
Sure. What about the varsity numbers? Are those kind of, and probably not where you want them to be necessarily, but are they looking better that way?
We're slowly moving up. Right now we're low 40s with numbers at the varsity level, which is, like I said, which is good. Eventually we'd like to add another 20 to that, and I think we will get there. And it's just a process, but like I've told our kids, I'd rather have 45 kids that go about things the right way and are hard workers and are doing everything that we've asked of them than 80 guys that kind of go through the motions. And we're gonna go out there and fight with who we have, and we're looking forward to this season.
Okay. Heard you guys talking at the end of practice about the hydration, conditioning, stuff like that. Is that a big focus? Because you face a Hononegah that has 80 kids on the sideline. Do you feel like that's maybe somewhere where you can kind of make up some of that numbers difference as with the conditioning?
Well, it just we're talking with these kids a lot about just kind of the whole big picture. You start with the big picture and you work your way down. And one of the things that we preach to them is if they do the little things right, the big things will fall into place. We've never mentioned a record to these kids. We've never mentioned playoffs to these kids. We talk about winning today and doing the right things today. And what is every little last thing that I can do to be successful? And if I'm hydrated, I'm going to be in better shape tomorrow to have a better practice the next day. If I'm eating right, and not eating garbage, not hitting McDonald's on the way home, those kind of things. And the kids seem to be buying in. Coach Hill, one of our defensive varsity coaches, is harping on that so much. The kids after every practice, they just look at him and he holds his hands up and they'll say hydrate. So it's going well. But Yeah, just nutrition is something we're really trying, along with the weight program and everything else we brought in. That's an aspect that we think will help us out.
Sure. You talked about some of the players you lost from last year. That's the nature of the beast in high school. You lose some, and kids step up. So who are some of the kids you're looking up to maybe step up and take on a bigger role this year?
Sure. Offensively, we lost a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be incredibly young on the offensive side of the ball. We only have 2 starters coming back offensively. And one of them is changing positions,
Mm-hmm.
And we expect him to step up for us, and that's Colton Baling.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be a quarterback for us this year. He was going to be the backup quarterback last year. He's played quarterback his entire life.
Sure.
He was just too good of an athlete to keep off the field
Right.
last year. So he was a receiver for us and did a real nice job right there. But we'll move him back, and he'll be calling the shots for us. So he'll be kind of, like I said, starting things off. But we've got a pretty successful sophomore class that did a nice job last year, and we're going to be kind of, last year with Mo Jackson, it was okay, where can we move Mo to, and
Right.
how can we get him the ball? This year it'll be a little bit more. We're going to have to distribute things and move it around a little bit. Defensively, we really like some of the kids that we have coming back.
Yeah.
Our nose guard, Victor Roman, 300-pounder, strongest kid on the team. Didn't show up well in the stat book last year, but of course that's a nose guard.
Right.
Eating a double team every play.
Right.
So, but he was a big part of our success on defense last year, and he'll be back. Jake Konashevsky at the linebacker spot for us. He'll be a senior this year, and we're expecting big things out of him. And kind of right up the middle there, where I talk about our strength, is Eric Munoz at free safety. He's before I got here, I know he was moved up as a freshman to varsity the last couple games of the year, and really helped hold down our defense as only a sophomore last year. So we're expecting a big year out of him.
Talk about a kid like Colton Bailey. I know that's a kid that on the basketball team had to kind of step in to take a bigger role, for losing a lot of senior players the year before. Do you kind of look at that? I know it's a different sport, but maybe he kind of has that experience of maybe stepping into a bigger role and hope he can transfer that over to football?
Colton's a good young man. He really is. He's a leader out here. And the nice thing, sometimes you get those kids with talent that can, kind of be successful in more than one area. They tend to slack off, tend to sometimes try to let the talent take over, take things for granted. Colton's been one of our hardest workers, kind of leads by example, but will also step up and kind of point kids in the right direction if he needs to. So we know he is an athlete, and, last year Garrett had that big arm, and Colton's got a nice arm, but is a little bit more athletic. So,
Yeah.
He's going to hopefully add a little bit more of a dimension to our offense that we didn't have last year.
Sure. Week 1, Belvidere North, get some
bet.
excitement going right away. How is that to start
Absolutely.
off with a rival like that right off the bat?
Oh, it'll be, it's exciting. North is absolutely loaded. Bringing back 10 starters on offense and several on defense. You sit down and you look at some of the tape of them from last year, and you're going, oh boy, they're going to be tough to deal with. But we haven't even mentioned Belvidere North to our kids yet. We hear it in the community. We hear,
Sure.
You hear it. Every reporter that shows up asks,
Right.
First game, Belvidere North. Right now we're focusing on. We've got a sign up in the locker room that says. Me versus yesterday. So we're focusing on, can we get better every day? And again, it all goes back to focusing on those little things. If we can get the kids to focus on their job today, are they getting better every day? The games will take care of themselves. But not to dodge your question,
Right.
but it's a big game, and
Right.
in North, I absolutely anticipate them being right up at the top of the conference
Okay.
this year. So we'll know out of the gate right away where we stand.
Sure. How tough is it when you look at the conference? For so long it was just Boylan, Harlem, Hononegah, that was it. But
Sure.
you got a team like North now. Auburn and Guilford have really picked their games up. I know you guys want to be in that mix
Sure.
with the rest of them. Just how tough is it now to fight through that conference?
Well, the Nick 10's loaded.
Mhm.
It really is. It's not just the big three as much anymore. And you talked about with North and Auburn and hopefully us and some of the other schools moving up and making that jump. You look at the schedule, and there's really not a week that you can look at and say,
Right.
well, this will be a get right week. This will
Mhm.
be a get healthy week. This is where we can rest some kids. You can't
Right.
do that. The conference is just too strong. So, we're going to go in. We're going to go in and approach each game just like it's a Super Bowl.
Right.
And come the beginning of November, we'll find out how we did.
Yeah. As we sit here today, you got 2 weeks and a day till the first game. What's the big things that you guys got to work on, to be ready for week 1?
Sure. Pretty much just kind of tying everything together, bringing everything together. Like I said, we had a good summer. We were able to get a lot introduced, and now it's a lot of that refining it. And everything that we put in this summer, it's now, okay, is it second nature now? Can we just rep it and rep it and rep it so that the thinking goes away and we just turn into doing out there. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on, and will be the next week or so.
Sure, and I guess when we get out there on Friday nights, what's going to be the biggest difference between last year and this year with Belvidere football?
You know what? I don't know about a big difference. Hopefully, I know there were a couple games last year where, we fought tooth and nail right down to the end. Harlem here, that 55 to 48 game, or right around there. We were down 3 touchdowns and just kept fighting. There were a couple other games, Boylan down by 7 in the middle of the third quarter. Just, the kids fought. And that's something, we talk an awful lot about character. And, I just spoke with the players last night, and I said, I don't know how many of you guys are going to be playing on Sunday, but I do know that from now and for the next 60 years, you're going to face a lot of adversity. So, when they leave Belvidere High School, that's one thing that we want to make sure that they know how to deal with that, and that they're going to be able to face it head on and fight through it. And last year's team was able to do that, and I certainly anticipate this year's team meeting every challenge head on the same way.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
No problem. Thank you for your time. Thanks for having me.